Good evening. Tonight's meeting of the Board of Assessors has been delayed. We're starting late. I apologize. We also were not able to set up the, either the Zoom nor the live feed, so this is gonna be recorded. We're gonna make as much transparency as possible. Hold on. Is that, anybody good? It's not our Zoom?
No, it's
Okay.
my
Sorry.
cousin who drinks a lot.
In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded over the public access channel, and it will be on Facebook Live,
It will be on Facebook.
on the public access Facebook page, which is https://www.facebook.com/lunenburg-public-access-cable-157-427-270-975-305/. The recording can be found at the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The meeting will be held in person at this location, which is the upper level of the Ritter Memorial building. Used to be Ritter Memorial Library, so that's why I said that, sorry. At 960 Massachusetts Avenue. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and participation we were trying to provide, it is not available. We will not suspend the meeting or terminate it if these technological problems, which we've had, interrupt that broadcast. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance. I'm not going to read all the stuff for remote participation because we are not able to do the remote participation tonight. The agenda lists all items which may be discussed at the meeting, and those that are reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. I'll call the meeting to order. I will have everyone in the room please identify themselves. I'm Brian LaFond.
Linda McQuaid.
Denise McHugh.
Rena Sweezy.
John Rabbit.
Thank you, everyone. Any opening comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Just a follow-up. Back in, on July the 11th, it was pointed out to us that the state issued a new IGR this spring for smart growth. And Heather had outlined the deadlines for getting him in were September 1st. And I don't know if we were supposed to be doing anything with the smart growth initiative, or we would be eligible again for smart growth in FY25 should the town so apply. So there's some, I guess, some reimbursements that she was chasing, and they wanted to put on everybody's radar in terms of submitting stuff. I don't know what we were supposed to be submitting, and I wonder if we'd heard anything, or we were participating, or.
Nothing I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of it either.
Nothing either?
No.
Didn't come up in the financial review meetings at all beforehand?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that just answered the question. Do we communicate that to anybody?
What do we want to communicate to them?
Yeah.
To
I
whom?
mean, are we supposed to be doing something? Yeah, who should we chase?
I mean, we're working on a growth for
Yeah,
fiscal
this is-
2025.
This
Yeah,
has
smart growth.
Something different, probably.
Something different, it's when you're not a regional school, it's got something to do with that.
So my
We did-
suspicion is if it's a school-related thing that the schools might be following up on it, but I don't know that for a fact.
I know, it was something Heather was working on last year, smart growth, and there was, I don't think we had to do anything for it
At that time.
at that time.
Okay.
Perfect. Any other comments?
No, that was just one of the ones sitting out there. I wanted
There's
to.
no one here from the public, so I'd like to start with the assessor's report. I
Okay.
believe you have something, and
I
you can
do.
comment.
I have my
Yes,
monthly report.
Ooh.
And you can introduce our guest.
Yes. We have a new data collector, Denise McHugh. Please welcome her. We're excited to have her.
Thank you.
Here.
Here.
And,
You want to say a little about what you've done in the past that helps you be qualified for this? I know you're qualified for it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
I've been a real estate appraiser for 20 to 27 years, and I've ran my own company, my own real estate company, and I have a lot of experience out in the field appraising 1 to 4 family homes. I do not have any commercial experience, but anything that I can learn at this job is beneficial for my future. I'm looking forward to actually working with people.
Well, as you know, we don't have that much commercial here in town, so
Okay.
residential would be very helpful
Great,
and help to take some of the burden off our,
Sure.
rest of our staff.
yeah.
Thank you.
Denise, where do you hail from? Where do you live?
Oh, sorry, Lowell,
Lowell, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
yeah.
Nice. Denise will be working 19 hours a week.
oh, okay.
And have your own desk and everything, I think.
Oh, wow.
And you'll most of the time be out in the field, right? Is that my
Yeah, I guess what
expectation,
Linda
think?
says, some field work, some office work.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, good.
We have lots of permits.
Yes. You're part of the family, well.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
You are welcome to sit through the whole meeting if you'd like, but we are here for hours and hours, typically. Or you can actually start your job tomorrow as you're supposed to. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
You don't feel that you have to sit here for this.
Oh, okay, I did wanna come in and meet you and, say thank you for the opportunity for the job, so, and then I am looking forward to working with the town and whoever that, including the residents, so. But if I don't have to stay, I don't really know anything about it, so,
I would like to say that we are all relieved to have an additional person in there who has some skill and knowledge around what we're doing,
okay,
and to help offload some of the workload that we
Oh, yeah.
are
okay,
currently living with.
all right,
So,
well, I mean,
thank
if you'd like me to stay, I'd be more than willing to, but, if,
Don't feel compelled.
okay.
It's your decision if you wanna stay.
Okay, well,
If
I
not, you can-
definitely just wanted to come in and meet you and say thank you for the opportunity. But, I'll be here tomorrow, starting my first day.
Is her computer set up?
We're working on it.
Well, that
Yeah.
means no.
Yeah, it should hopefully by.
I'm a
he's
good
working on it
interpreter.
today. Yeah.
He said he should be down in the morning to
Yeah.
hook it up.
Okay,
And then
Fabulous.
Julie's gonna set her up in the morning, onboarding.
Yep.
So,
all right, so would it be okay if I left, or?
sure.
Oh, yeah, feel
Yeah.
free, feel free.
Yeah.
All right, great,
All
I'll
right,
probably see you all tomorrow.
sounds
Yeah,
good.
we mostly
Have a good
invited you
night.
so we could put a face with a name.
Well, no, Glenn, that's why I wanted to come and meet all of you.
And you're gonna get sick of my face.
No.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will.
Have a good night,
See you in the
everyone.
morning.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Good night.
Drive safely. So you wanna walk us through your?
Yeah, I'll walk you through our busy month. We processed the remaining real estate and personal property abatements that were approved during our last meeting. We sent out the certificates, and we did process them in Munis as well, so they're,
And that's working well.
well, yeah. We've had our challenges with Munis, but we got them in, and, so at least they're out of the assessing office. They're
Out
in
of
the
the
tax
assessing
collector's
office,
hand
down.
at this point.
Have you heard any more in terms of any difficulties on that side of it?
There's
Was it
always difficulties, yeah. Yeah.
Big numbers of difficulties, little numbers of
It depends. Every week, sometimes it's down. It was down last week for a couple hours, so,
Right,
yeah,
so Munis has continued to be a challenge.
it has.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have a consultant in here helping now or anything like that?
He's
He
gonna
was.
help with the billing, and he has been in a couple of times to help other departments.
Okay, this is McGuire,
Randy,
Randy.
yeah, Mercier.
Mercier,
Yeah, he
yes.
helps out 20 other towns.
Yes, I actually heard about him from another town that I spoke with.
Oh,
in
good.
Woburn. They say, oh, talk to Randy, he knows everything about it.
Yeah.
But
And he knows Munis, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. We took care of the abatements.
how many?
Still inspecting the new construction properties and trying to aggressively work on the FY 2025 growth.
Any estimate on how many you gotta go through?
I still have more. We measured the condos down at 1295
Mhm.
Mass Ave.
Hundreds, tens?
Well,
Are you talking permits?
permits.
permits and stuff?
We don't know.
We've got quite a few. In my box, I think I've maybe got
Okay.
45.
Right.
But every day I
Is
open up
is
my
there a
email.
computer report that shows outstanding permits someplace? Didn't they use the building inspector to generate a permit?
There's something in open.gov.
Yeah,
It's just,
And the problem is you have to go through them because there are some permits for wood stoves, some permits for new roofs, some permits for windows.
yeah,
Those things
Solar.
don't,
solar.
solar.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's not permits, we just have to
so,
look at them and go on to the next one because they're not gonna make any
So
Right.
valuation changes.
while there may be 45 in our inbox today, there may be 20 that we have to do something with,
sure,
Yeah.
or there may be 30 that we have to do something with. We don't know
Okay.
until we look at them each.
We also have final inspections, so
sales.
what in sales as well,
Yeah.
which is going to be key that Denise will
Thank
is
goodness
able
she's
to
here.
is able to help. But with the new construction, we have to look at the completion date as of June 30th.
Right,
So that's one thing that I've been trying to go through with the new construction to determine the percentage complete.
prorating it, yeah,
So that way, at least, we know that they're being billed properly based
Okay.
on what
Yeah.
percentage it was
right,
complete.
right. And that computer report would indicate those dates and stuff? For
No.
the ones that aren't talking about a new fireplace or something like that, there's nothing, no information that would help us there?
Well, open.gov does list the occupancy date,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to follow up with the building inspector and determine from him what percentage complete was
Okay,
as of June 30th, because if it's not complete, if it doesn't have the occupancy date, we obviously can't.
right, is there a space, is there a space to load the occupancy date in this open.gov
It's already
document?
in there, but,
So why aren't we loading it, why is the building inspector loading it?
because if he hasn't issued the occupancy date, I need to know the status of what it was on June 30th. So if the occupancy
okay,
date's
I
in
get
there,
that.
So there's percentages of completion
Mhm.
until occupancy.
Right, is he
So
noting
she-
the
he can-
percentage of
He can
completion?
tell her the percentage of completion as of June 30th, because that's the
Mm-hmm. Right.
law that we adopted.
Yeah.
Right.
So couldn't we put a policy then that says, look, on June 30th, you need to tell us all
That,
the ones that have, homes that are being built, the construction, the percentage of completion? That way you don't have to go and chase them down and,
well, I have to follow up with him. In open.gov, it has different dates and steps.
yeah,
But his inspection may be 2 weeks prior to June 30th, and I don't know what percentage complete. So I just
Okay.
follow up with him, and then I'm trying to actually go out and inspect them. So that was what I was trying to do, is see what percent, so I can determine it, and we have a chart
Sure.
in
We
the
have a
office.
chart too, that we follow,
You
that's
track.
the percentage of
Yeah,
completion.
so we can kind of know if
Mm-hmm.
the windows are in, or if the siding's on. We have a percentage to determine what percentage
right, so
complete
you
it
keep a
was.
separate set of books to chase all that?
I have a spreadsheet
Yeah,
that
Okay.
I've started for the Department of Revenue, and as I go out
it's
and
a growth
inspect,
report. yeah.
it's
Growth
we're
report.
calculating the growth, and we're
Okay.
updating Envision, and with photos and all the sketches.
Mm-hmm. Is that
we're
something
getting
you developed or you brought in?
in. The DOR, that's a,
It's
spreadsheet.
basically something the DOR has.
Yeah.
standard DOR
Yeah.
report.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we didn't have that before.
Yeah, we've
Well,
always had one.
we have
Well,
it.
we
We've always
did,
had our own,
Yeah.
we've always had our own.
We're
Okay.
using their template, and then
Yeah.
once it's complete, we'll upload it
Okay.
when we have to
Yeah, because
upload
when
the
I
growth.
went and asked a year ago in terms of how are we doing in the new reports and stuff I haven't been out in the field, I haven't chased anything in a year, and since he'd been there, because he just wasn't getting the information from the building inspector. And so, what do I do? Where do I
So-
go? And he was shorthanded on top of that.
So,
So,
so we have a different assessor, we have a different building
right,
inspector.
And it's good to hear that
Yeah,
you got that stuff in place.
we're working
Yeah.
together as a team.
The building official, by the way, is a big proponent of using the computer to
Bless
to
his heart.
streamline stuff, so.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and he's an asset. He's very helpful,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he actually tells me when he goes out on final
Is
inspections.
this okay, what's
Brian Gingras.
Brian Jenkins, okay.
Okay, so the next thing is Marina and I have we received about 125 motor vehicle excise tax abatements in the past month. And that's the challenge, is getting those processed for payment, just with everything else we're trying to do.
It's a time sink.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of steps to processing
Right.
a
There
motor
is.
vehicle abatement.
Also continue to go through and review the 102 building permits from 2022 and 2023, just to make sure that we've got all the new construction and everything is in vision appraisal. We processed 5 abutters list in the past month, and we sent out 5 supplemental bills for FY 2024 new construction. And that was actually approved at our last meeting, and that was a total of $22,508.55. And as far as our goals for next month, we actually started, one of them, we're sending out 130 exemption applications to the residents. We continue
That
to.
includes veterans, elderly, blind, whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Continue to review the open building permits to determine the percentage of growth as of June 30th. And unfortunately, the person that interviewed for the administrative assessing assistant did not accept the position, so we have to start the interviewing and hiring process again. So
That's the union position,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
32 hours a week.
the salary was not sufficient for this person to make the move.
right. Hey,
Is that fair?
That is fair.
right.
Did you want to talk about the request that we got from the town manager?
What request are you referring to?
Well, we have to do the, it was, he wants to know if we have any
Oh, yes, overlay.
money
I'm sorry.
in the overlay
Overlay
that
account.
can be moved, potentially moved elsewhere. So we need to do an evaluation of the
Right.
overlay. But upon the formal request of the town manager,
That's correct.
we have to evaluate what we have available in the overlay and say what we might have as excess
If we
overlay.
have excess overlay, that's clearly in the financial policies that,
Yep. And I actually, when I spoke to him, I said, I expected to get this call sooner. So I don't know what steps we have to go through for that, and I believe that he's gonna wanna see an answer sooner rather than later. I don't know,
is he putting his budget together now?
yeah,
Yeah.
He is,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
he's
sure
asked me
there's
to look
a
at,
little early, but
yeah,
it's fine. Needs to be done
Better
sooner
late.
rather than later.
Yeah,
yeah.
so we have to find out a pile of things in order to do our part, including what's sitting in the ATV, our potential,
Well, right now,
yeah.
We don't have any, we have no,
Nothing, so that,
no
that's the good
ATV
news.
we have the
cases.
possibility of one that we know of right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And anything beyond that, I don't know of any other potentially outstanding
Mhm.
ATV
and you
cases.
just take the average of the last 3 years, you know, with
Well,
some sort
the
of
3
statistics.
years.
Last 3 years,
it's actually done.
Skip
on-
that
Is it
one
five?
year when
Yeah,
it was
you have
bigger
to-
and,
you have
and
to-
include
yeah.
5 years at
5
least.
years, okay.
So my suggestion would be, we'll look at the average of the last 6 years, pulling out that
Anomaly.
pig in a
23.
snake that we had.
Yeah,
If we could do that, that'd probably give us a pretty good
Okay.
idea what the average is.
Yeah,
and they also make a recommendation, the DOR makes a recommendation.
How much we
of-
should, well, their
What we should
recommendation
say.
is, will include that pig and a snake.
Yeah,
It'll include that big year, so their recommendation is not as meaningful as it might normally have been. So I think we're gonna make a recommendation,
Right.
and what we ought to do is, we probably ought to say, here's what our average is, and here's how it's grown, excluding that 1 year. And then, so we could probably plot that, and then say, do we need 10% or 15% more than that, just to make sure we have plenty.
so.
I don't know if there's some guidelines from DOR on what we should have over our expectation.
Yeah, for what I recommend, if what I've read a recommendation is they're saying be conservative, as you'd
Sure.
expect, that. Also, we're supposed to be kind of monitoring how the overlay account is doing on a regular basis. And I was wondering if that could come up in your once-a-month financial review with the town manager. Say,
Yeah.
can we know
Actually,
what's
we
sitting?
did do that, the finance director did give me that. I will look at it again, because we just put in a whole bunch of these abatements
Yeah,
into Munis, so I'll be able to get an accurate
And-
total from him, and we
and-
can kinda see where we're at, and
yeah,
then look
You
at
can
the.
share that with us outside of the meeting by just sending a copy, I think, of it,
Okay.
if you don't
yeah.
mind.
I think that's the right answer, because if we, looks like we are overdrawing it, we can say some preventative actions that
Well-
will save them having to
We're,
dip into.
we're not
another
gonna
account.
overdraw what we have
No,
built
I
up.
don't know that, yeah.
Well, cause we had
we
this
aren't.
much built up and we're drawing this much per year, so
Mhm.
to overdraw it, we have to go huge.
No.
We're not gonna overdraw that, but the question is, how much do we have in excess? So you, if you just put together a little analysis
Sure.
and then make a recommendation to the board,
I will,
then we can approve or
Okay.
disapprove
okay.
or modify that recommendation. with,
All right.
I know you need some more to do.
And you'll also
April.
have to keep in mind, any outstanding personal property, that personal property
That doesn't get
that doesn't get
paid
paid
at all.
at all
Yep, there's
ends
several
up
factors.
coming out
Yep.
of the overlay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we
And
would
then-
need to get that from the tax collector, right?
Yes. Outstanding amounts on personal property.
So I would suggest, we know that you're gonna be busy for the next couple of days on another item that we talked about earlier. So I would suggest maybe sometime next week, pull that together and so you get it to us by the end of the week,
Sure.
maybe next week?
Yep,
Does that, if that's overly aggressive, just
No.
tell me.
And the tax collector wasn't, and she's been out sick, so.
hopefully she'll be in, but Izzy should be able to give me that, our finance director,
Okay.
yeah.
One of the other points was that on the 41A, we allow them to defer, and I don't. I have
We
not-
haven't adopted 41A, so go ahead.
Oh, no, we have, the town has.
It-
The town,
we have-
the whole state has.
The whole state has.
The
but
whole
we-
state has. And we
So,
haven't, and we'll
I-
talk about that, because that's in here a
Yeah.
little bit further. But the question is, does it come out of the overlay when that occurs? The town hasn't spent the money, lost the money, it's just deferred. So does that hit the overlay side, or where does that go?
It does not hit, 41A does not hit overlay.
Okay.
Just abatements that are granted hit overlay.
Right, well, if we grant,
It's not an
they
abatement.
file the
It's
application.
Not an abatement.
That's not an
Right,
abatement,
right,
that's a
it's a
deferral.
deferral.
41A is not an abatement, so it
Right.
doesn't affect the
The
overlay,
overlay.
So we
that
have to
I
go-
know of.
I have to go down, back to the accounting department then to find out where it gets loaded. Because what you're doing is you're deferring that
Income,
income. So how do we accommodate that? And where does
That's
it go?
usually the tax collector has a list of deferrals and they keep a running
Mhm.
year to year.
Yeah,
That's the way it was done in the other community I was
Right.
in. The tax collector knew exactly who had a deferral and
Mhm.
how much it was, and every year how much was being put into that. But we don't have any deferrals, so there's no background for that.
right, not yet, and I'll save the rest of that conversation for the
Yeah.
41.
please.
Okay,
Should we bring up the 41?
Well, we have it
Do we
later
have
on.
that
It's in here.
In
later on?
postponed topics, we will cover it
Yeah.
under postponed topics,
Okay.
so. let's Try to
Stay on the agenda.
make it easier for the minutes to be written by following down through the, yeah.
yeah. Mr. Chairman, can I also
Please.
compliment our lead assessor, in that you received, my perception was that, from a person who was requesting exemptions and an analysis, they wrote a very nice letter,
Oh,
and they said good things, so, thank you. Both of you, thank you.
Was that the response to the questions that we gotten? Okay.
Yeah,
oh,
We got,
Yes.
we've gotten some more.
Good analysis.
More questions.
in the last day or so?
Yeah.
Okay. But you did a great job, and the analysis was good.
oh,
Thank you, thank you.
We both worked on it together.
I could see
Yeah.
that. It seems a lot
Yeah,
of work put
we
into
know.
that. But it was also validated a lot of material too, so.
One of the things that, I don't know, is now the right time, maybe. One of the things that indicated to us was that we have several different factors that have no differentiation.
Right,
There's no
right.
tables on them. It's not just a few,
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a ton.
Which we will at some point have to review, but
Mhm.
that's after we've revised the neighborhood layouts.
Okay,
So that's
Mhm.
something we should all keep in mind.
Because it is gonna change your values.
It is,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
so, that's just, yeah, okay. Anything else that you wanted to cover under the,
No.
okay?
That's it.
Review and approve minutes of July 29th. I sent over a revised version
Mm-hmm.
after I made some modifications. I have printed
Some
it
more?
off with the final revisions that I made.
Uh-huh.
You're welcome to read through it.
Is this the one that, okay, I did, oh, it's not minutes, is it? Petition town, 41.
Minutes of July 29th.
Okay, hold on, maybe I pulled the wrong folder.
And
I did. Yeah, here it is. Oh, sorry. You don't want to hear that one. Is this the June 10th, Brian?
No,
No?
June 10th is all done.
All done. I got it back and there was some, I made a misstatement and I wanted to see if I could correct the misstatement. When
It's
I,
al- The minutes are already posted.
And they
Which
were
are 10th.
approved and posted.
We approved them last time.
posted, yes, and I'm saying I made a mistake in some
If
reference
you'd
to.
like to make a statement that amends what you've done in the past, I guess you could do it now, but, sure, do it now.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I apologize for that. It was new information to me that I gave. The board received a message from citizen that was reviewed, this is, I'll start at the very, June 10th. And the board received a message from the citizens that was reviewed last week in executive session. There were concerns that the interpersonal relationships in the neighborhood was not good. John Rabbit assured the individual that no information is ever shared with anybody. There was discussion about topography, okay, but anyway, that is wrong. And if it would turn out, after the, if you'll even go looking in some of the executive sessions on the Board of Assessors, you'll see that there are executive sessions that have become public. They do release it. If they're going through, and I could read the information in there. And this is, in general, petitions are considered public activity, and people who sign them can expect political views to, oh, that's the wrong one, I'm sorry. Okay, executive sessions are public documents that must be released to the public as soon as the purpose of the executive session is no longer relevant.
Right.
Correct.
And so therefore, if it's negotiations or anything else, it becomes a public document.
Yep.
And if you're buying land. However, there are some exceptions, including personal information, executive sessions that could defeat the lawful purpose of the executive session. And in this particular case, it was one the judge wouldn't stop a petition, but I can't say that the executive session would not become publicly available, because I did read one where there was some earlier land discussions by the board, and the board declined to make use of it. And so therefore, you can release executive sessions.
So
So-
what is it you want to modify on the June 10th minutes?
I'm just saying, I was wrong. I said they would never be released.
Oh, you said it would, your phrasing was never be released.
It'd never be released.
Ah.
So therefore, I was wrong in making
So,
that
so
statement.
executive session, just as a summary, executive session minutes could potentially be released.
Any public document, any
Could potentially,
document.
once those
Yeah.
parameters are met that you just read.
Right.
Okay,
And any document, including,
thank you for the correction.
yeah, I screwed up. And petitions, anything,
Yep.
even registrations, with the exception of one thing that doesn't seem to, in gun registrations, that doesn't become public.
We don't have to worry about
Yeah, we don't
gun
have to worry about that, but
registrations.
other than that, anything anybody signs, anywhere, dispositions, what you
yes,
paid
yes.
people,
Thank you
It's
for the
public.
clarification
and so that's my point there, thank you.
and for correcting your
Yeah.
misinterpretation.
Yeah, I should not give those assurances unless it's
So
been,
we're on the June 29th minutes?
yes. Okay.
Did you have any corrections to the June 29th
Did I
minutes?
print that? I don't believe I did. No, I didn't.
Okay. If you'd like to move, we accept the minutes as amended?
So approved. I agree,
So moved.
second.
I'll second, and we will both vote to approve it?
Yeah,
Okay. So I'll get a copy over to the
okay.
town
Town
clerk
clerk.
with the amendments that I made.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thank you. Do we have invoice, oh, well, let me go back a minute. Do we have an executive session minutes for the 29th?
Mhm.
Not yet?
Mm-hmm. I forgot to print them out.
Good.
So
I
the
did
answer
do
is
them.
almost.
Yeah.
I'll
They're-
email them out.
They're,
Can I do that? All right, bring them at
I
the
think-
next meeting.
I don't know that you can email them or not.
I'll bring them to the next, I did do them, I just,
If we could take a look at it and confirm that we can email them, go ahead and email them to just the board, and Linda, and if not, we'll just do them the next meeting, so that's good, thank you. Invoices, expense vouchers, payroll, billing errors, et cetera.
We got a whole bunch of stuff. This is RRC. That is for the appraisals that they did on the utilities,
Oh,
gas company.
really?
Yeah,
$9,000 for RRC to,
do our 504s, 505, 506.
well, this just says 504.
utilities.
I know.
Utilities, all the
You said,
utilities.
what's 505?
Well, those are all
Those are all utilities. There-
utilities.
There's like Unitel and Boston
Boston
Gas.
Gas.
So are we gonna get another one for
Pittsburgh,
505?
No,
No.
no, that's
Okay.
everything.
That-
That's
My
everything.
point was, this only says 504.
They probably didn't put the,
Because they didn't break it down, but there are, it's Unitel, it's Boston Gas, it's
So we need to initial
Pittsburgh
this?
Electric.
what's that?
Do we need to initial this?
You do, yeah,
And dated
and dated.
or signed?
Now, is this quarterly, monthly?
This is,
That's-
they do
and-
this yearly.
Oh,
Annual.
yearly. Oh, that's a
annually,
good deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then we have to, well, that was the challenge of getting the file from National Grid, and then we have to give them to RRC, so. It's an encrypted file. These are for business cards, that I showed you earlier.
Did you bring one?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Did you bring one?
Lisa.
I didn't bring him one, no. This was $35 from JNS and Air. Look at how nice that is.
That's a good looking
And how many
card.
cards you got? 250?
$250,
Which should last you a year.
yeah.
Oh, no.
$35 for
35 bucks, that's a
cards.
great deal.
That's what I said.
Congratulations.
We need to get Denise some too, so I
Eight.
will order them.
Yeah, that's good. She's gonna be out
Initial?
there, she needs them, yeah.
Initial. Yeah. And this is the dues to the MAAO, Massachusetts Association of Assessors Officers. We're members
I'm
of
not
that.
paying that.
$75.
You do it on the back?
Yeah.
It's
You
Well-
can even do it, if you could do it on the front too, because it just kinda carried it over, but the 75 is there. And I think that's it.
come on.
Do we have any more?
Motor vehicle.
Oh, we got motor vehicle. We're never into the motor vehicle. But for invoices, that's it.
Oh, that's all
Am I supposed to sign it twice?
These are
What
all the
pages?
abatements. So this is the abatements that we processed that you approved last time. And it lists them here and the totals. So that's that.
So each page, each group of pages. Oh,
Just,
we have-
no, just on the front with the 3 lines up. But that description's on the next page.
Okay. This 19th day.
I think it's the same thing. Oh, actually, if you wouldn't mind signing that, because this copy's for the tax collector also. These other two, and then the finance director, well, while you're here.
This is 3 copies.
That's duplicate, yeah, duplicate of the same thing. Because I have
We
to,
need
One,
3?
one
well,
original,
we give one to the tax collector and one
Got
to
that.
the finance
so
director.
we can just make
And
a
we
can
copy
make a
for
copy, too.
ourselves.
And we keep one for ourselves.
Right,
Yeah,
Okay.
but we can just make a copy of the front page for ourselves.
Somebody signed it. Oh, Sarah signed this? We're supposed to be signing this as well?
That would, I just had that as a quick little spreadsheet. That doesn't get turned into everybody. She thought she had to sign it, and you don't have to sign it.
So
Does this need to be signed?
No, that's everything, that's part of that whole package.
So my
But-
concern is that there's a signature line there.
That was what Rena was just talking
Yeah.
about, that,
Yeah,
Oh,
don't,
okay.
that was
It's
just
the
a
same
little,
thing?
yeah, that's the same
Same
thing.
thing.
Just sign on the top page.
Linda, if I could, Mr. Chairman, with regard to tracking the amount of abatements that we're giving month to month, and that would correspond to a reduction in overlay, right?
No, motor vehicles do not come
Oh,
out of
motor
the
vehicles,
overlay.
I'm sorry. So.
those come out of overlay, but not.
The real
mo-
estate.
But
Yeah,
not
I'm
the
sorry.
motor vehicle.
Motor vehicles.
Yeah,
Do we create an estimate for the abatements on excise tax and things like that?
We keep them all in a book.
Yeah.
Every time we do one, we have all the totals of
Yeah.
everything that's been abated. But
Yeah,
we don't, we don't, that does not come out of the overlay, it's just money that's refunded back to the tax, to the,
And-
Where does it come from? That's a good
Yeah.
question. I don't know.
from the general fund. Cause any motor vehicle money goes into the general fund, so.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, and we're approving it,
yes.
so shouldn't we keep track of how much we've approved year to date and stuff like that, or is that
She
easy
has
to
a
pull?
book full of.
We have
The
a
book
book,
full, it's
and we can
manual,
probably
isn't it?
print out a
Yeah,
report
for-
from Eunice too. if we
Can you-
need
Yeah,
to.
could probably do a report
Yeah.
from Eunice
Yeah.
on how many motor
Yeah.
vehicles were
We have
granted
such
each
a,
month.
as I mentioned earlier, 125, the volume that comes
Oh,
in a
yeah.
month. It's a
It's
lot of
gonna only
work.
keep growing too, yeah.
Especially when they have the first of the year, when they have the biggest
Sorry.
time.
So if we could just kind of figure out how to make Munis give us a regular copy, because I would like to see what we put on the budget and how that forecast came about.
We don't put
We don't
anything in the budget for
No,
that. We
that's
do
on the
not
general
budget for
fund.
that.
No, not our budget, the town budget. What do they anticipate for revenue, and what do they anticipate for
You can
abatement?
ask the town manager that. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, that would actually be the town accountant, usually when they do the recap sheets and all that.
Should be in there.
It'll be in there. What they do is they take the total of what came in last year for motor vehicles, and then you estimate for the next year.
Mhm.
And you always go below what came in, because again, you try to be conservative. But that's when they're doing the recap sheet. That's part of the
Right.
finance director or the town accountant's
Right.
purview.
so we go to town meeting, that's included in that summary sheet?
It should be included.
Rebates on
It
excise
should be
tax?
included in the calculations, but I don't know if it's highlighted. I
Yeah.
doubt it.
Probably not.
Okay,
This is motor vehicle, one of them that we did.
19th?
Yeah.
so they must have some sort of top line that says excise tax or something. in
Yeah,
it.
well, that would be the town
And that,
accountant.
yeah, and that would be less, okay, something to ask.
Because all of these things
This is
we give
another real estate abatement.
a copy
That
to
was
the town
part of that.
accountant,
Right.
so he knows what's been abated.
Yeah,
Part of the abatement, yeah.
I know we
This
keep
is
our own set of
Yeah,
sidewalks.
just, I'm sorry, I didn't draw a line. Yeah, if you could just sign the front page
Sign or
there.
initial?
Sign. And I should have drawn a line, I apologize.
We'll get the line thing down one of these days,
I'm gonna actually add it to this one.
just two.
I mean, do you have a cute badge too?
Like that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denise will have to get an ID badge too.
Okay. This is another, that's a motor vehicle.
There was only one abatement on this
That
one.
one.
This is the same.
Sometimes
This is 3 copies of this,
If
so.
somebody has demand and interest charges, we have to do them right up for them, and it generates an awful lot of paper for one abatement.
I haven't signed, I've got 2 more copies here. You want me to sign it while we're here, so we don't have to?
Sure.
This is the same thing, but this is again for the tax collector and the finance director.
So we have to sign it again even though we signed it there, okay. That's all right, that's all right.
Oh, that was this one is, this was, oh,
That's
this
the
was an
munis.
administrative, no, that was one that you did during the regular season, but it didn't get put into Munis, and it, Linda just had to put it into Munis, because they called up and said they never got their refund check. When
boy.
Linda looked into it,
Did we, okay,
she
it's
had to
like,
put it, it wasn't put in Munis, so.
is it like mice? You have one, you have, if you see one, you have a dozen?
Oh, well,
No.
we hope not.
Okay.
No.
Should be 3 copies of the same thing there, right?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
It's a different number though. Same category, but it's, the
Same.
other one was 1080.
Yeah, that's motor vehicle. That's,
Oh,
that's
I'm
different.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should, cat year.
that's it. I don't know.
What do you guys do all day?
I know.
Read books, watch YouTube.
Yeah.
We
How
wi-
were the
we
Olympics?
wish.
Yeah.
I don't know what countries were in them.
That's two, you, oh, we have two each, I'm sorry.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right,
If
good
we
job.
missed anything, call us back into the office. I don't believe there's much of an update on the neighborhood review team, as Sarah's not been available.
Mhm.
She's gonna resume when she can.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Status on the rollout of the website?
Okay. In the last meeting, in rollout, we agreed, we're putting 3 issues in the org, well, let me step back. The trick of it is we wanna get the site up and rolling. So therefore, we agreed that we would,
Excuse us, hang on one second.
Do you want me to lock the door?
No, this is still a public meeting.
Okay, I don't know if you have more people coming in, or you
We
had a key.
probably won't,
The
but
only
we
thing
have
is
to keep
we
it
don't
open.
have a key.
We don't have a key to lock it at the end of the night, though.
That's why I wanna know if you want me to lock it now. They can always knock.
Yeah, if somebody
and you
knocks
can
on the door.
Push the door open, but if
Okay.
you don't have a key, this would have to be locked at the end.
Right.
yeah,
So I'm gonna lock it now.
Thank
I
you.
don't think anybody's coming, but if they do, you'll hear them
Right.
mhm.
banging on the door.
Unless we're banging on the table.
They could. So I'll lock it now for you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank
Please,
you.
So much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I doubt if it's 8 o'clock, somebody's showing up, but for a 6:30 meeting, that we started at 7.
okay. So, anyway, we had made the decision we wanted to try in the org chart, the work breakdown structure, and the site map. And there, right now on that, there's nothing in there, it's all pulled out.
Thank
All the
you.
diagrams and
Thank
things
you.
like that I built, they're gone, they're not there, they're not there. Okay, but I'm having a real difficulty as I work my way through this site, that I had built essentially a site map of where was that. We've got probably 700 pages in that thing, and to not have a site map or a table of contents is actually nuts, totally nuts. Even though we give people a chance to go look through, but they're embedded and they say all over the place because it's just so much. And I would ask for reconsideration on the fact that we put back in at least a table of contents or a site map. Otherwise, there's a lot of work, and it will, from our part, our team's part, that will be lost to the public because they can't handle it. They can't handle it. So I'm asking permission to go ahead and move something like this in, which is just a summarization of what they are and what's in the subtopics, and it's all on one page versus having to hunt. And I can't put anything in unless our board approves it, because I think my friend is might be a little upset with me right now, but I wouldn't blame her if I were on the other side. So I'm formally asking permission to put in a table of contents / site map.
So, if you're making that motion, it's
And
not gonna,
I'm asking,
not gonna be seconded.
Yeah, I know,
Because
I'm asking.
I think we need to get that released, and then we can think about other things that need to go in there. I think that putting that thing right there is not a bad idea, but let's release it, get it done.
Why do you wanna push
and
junk
move
out
it.
the door that no one can
It's not-
understand?
It's not junk, we've got a bunch of good stuff out there.
Oh, I know that, but unless they
we're
can
only-
use it,
We've only been working on it for 8 months, you wanna work on it for another 2 months?
no,
and another 3
I
months,
wanna
another
release
4
it
months.
right now.
It's, then what we agreed to as a team
Okay,
didn't include that.
okay.
So let's release what we've
I'm just
agreed
gonna
to.
release this, all of this stuff, and it's not gonna be this. This has not been added, it was consideration to be added. And I'm not working the organization chart, I'm not working the work breakdown
you.
structures, which are critical
We-
to meeting the intent of the next document we're gonna discuss.
We can do that for the future, I just wanna get this one done, be able
Okay.
to declare this done, cause Rick's, it's sitting there.
It's sitting there,
It's
it's
sitting there,
ready to
it's
go.
been ready for a while, we've had all the, we've double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked.
No, we
that-
still have some
that-
spelling
That the
mistakes,
links,
okay.
that the links work.
Yeah,
I know you checked a bunch of them, I checked a bunch of them, I think Sarah checked a bunch
Yeah.
of them. So let's release it and be able to declare some success, cause this wasn't necessarily, when we started, this wasn't one of the things we said, we gotta have a site map. We all kinda went, well, maybe, I don't know.
yeah,
We keep moving the goalposts, we'll never finish. I want to just say we finished, now we can do the modifications that are critical for us. And people may, one of the things we may be able to do is, we release it, people say, I can't find anything. You go, okay, great, now we have justification for.
I
putting
tell you,
together
they're
some
already
kind
gonna start telling us, okay, I'm gonna do that because I agreed to it. And with a
well,
caveat
the
that.
whole team agreed to it.
Yeah,
We all
oh,
three
yeah, I
of us.
agree, I
Okay.
voted for it, I voted for it for the sake of, that lightning, thunder lightning?
Yeah, I just heard thunder, so yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, we're doing that, but we're not doing our best. Okay, I will tell,
We aren't aiming for perfection, we're aiming for goodness.
we're gonna be asking for forgiveness afterwards.
No,
Okay,
I don't think
so
so.
anyway,
We're providing people with a whole bunch of information they've never had access to before. They will
Oh,
not
I
be
agree.
asking, they will not be,
and even our own members have never really seen most of this, not necessarily you guys, but folks. Okay, so I will go to Kara and say, fire away. We have a number of,
if you have some typos, just let us know what the typos are, so we're, because if it's just a typo, spelling
just-
error,
there's some typos, there's a couple spelling. But unless, the way I read the note was she's not doing anything unless I have approval from the
Right.
board to correct even the spelling.
so. Yes,
We have permission to correct the spelling.
I don't know, send us the spelling errors.
Okay, that's a month, that's 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away, right?
Let's release it, we'll fix stuff as we find it. Because that's what we agreed to last time, as a team.
Yeah. I agree, I didn't think spelling errors were part of that. And
I don't
when
know,
got the
because
note, when I got the note from Kara, she says she's not releasing anything unless
I
you
got it.
specifically approve it.
Because the goalposts have been changing every time.
Oh, I agree, I
So
agree.
we can't do that. So let's stop changing the goalposts.
And I don't wanna put my name on that. I don't wanna go out and put crap out there that's got spelling errors.
It's not up to you, it's up to the board. The board
Right.
already agreed to put that out there, so.
The board can agree to allow us to correct the spelling. It takes 2 days and it's off to her. I
If
think I
that's
have a
all it
meet-
is, make sure you copy all of us on it,
Okay,
and we'll, no problem.
but you gotta vote and approve it. That's what she clearly said.
If it's a spelling error, she'll fix it.
I will point them out to her, and
All
hopefully she
of
does.
us.
I'll point it out to all of you.
Thank you.
I-
That's all I asked. I'm just,
I
I'm
will
trying to be
point it
really
out.
clear here. I'm not
Okay, no,
asking for
you're-
much.
I'm not, remember, you're talking to a guy that
We're-
practiced quality and
Yeah, I know, but
reliability and everything else.
quality, 8
And I
months
don't
late is-
accept
we're already-
mediocrity,
we're-
and that's the
it's-
mediocrity, to
it's-
put something out there that.
It's already 8 months late. We were supposed to be done in February or April.
April.
March. No,
April.
It was gonna be before the thing down at the,
Right, and we said that, we
which
did
was-
tell him,
Which was gonna be March, so it was gonna
April.
be done in February, then
Okay.
it was gonna be done in March, then it was gonna be done in April,
Yeah.
now it's friggin' August.
and somebody
So let's
came in and
release
changed
it.
the order, and we added some other stuff, so,
Let's-
yeah,
Let's release it.
yeah,
And if we find things that need to be fixed, we'll fix them.
okay. Okay.
Thank you.
You're not welcome.
I d- You don't have to agree, it's just what the board agreed to, so we're just
Yeah, and I
gonna
agreed to
move
it.
forward with
I
what the
agreed to it.
board agreed to.
I agreed to it, but I
Well, even if
couldn't.
you hadn't, 2 other board members voted that way, so we need to move on.
Oh. hurt
We
me.
need to move on.
Okay.
So I'm gonna declare this done. We wanted to talk about the feedback on the financial policies document, this
Yes.
85-page
Yeah.
monster.
Well,
It's not a monstrosity. Actually
it's big.
necessary,
It's
but
big.
It's just
Hey,
huge.
the first thing, can I get? Would it be possible to get an electronic copy?
You got one.
Of this document? This one?
Yep,
Okay. And the electronic copy,
you got it.
it's try and tabulate the pages. You'll discover that they flip around and they go from one side to the other, and it's a mess.
We all got that same thing.
Yeah, so can we get one that is either broken out by pages or give me electronically? I think something
I don't
happened.
understand, what is it you don't have?
I don't have a book that I can put together. This one's facing this way and this one's facing that way.
Are you printing that two-sided?
I didn't print it. You gave it to me. Somebody gave it to me.
I printed
Rena
it,
printed it
but
off for
I
us.
just, whatever we had, I just put it through the machine.
Did we get that
However
through?
it was,
And you have it
And-
electronically, do you need something else electronically? I
You
don't know
can't,
what.
if you just get me electronically.
You already have it,
I think who sent that?
You
Was
have it.
that was from Heather.
Heather,
you
yeah,
have
Yeah,
it.
I have it.
yeah.
I sent it to you, Heather sent it to
Okay,
us, and I
then
sent
it
it
was,
to you.
must have been in this format. I will go back
It
and
was,
check.
it,
I will go back and check.
I can give it to you again,
No, if you send it to me, I will.
I
I am-
absolutely sent it to you.
Yeah, I believe,
And-
absolutely
and-
believe you.
And, it was printed, so some things are going overhead and, as opposed to faced like a book. I understand what you're saying, it's hard to read, but
Yeah, and if we're going to put something like this in any kind of public
so
domain,
what we're looking for, what Heather had asked was that we
To
feedback
make a
to the
review.
contents.
and
Not
that's,
the formatting, but the
Okay,
contents of
okay.
this document.
and I'm giving
So
you
if we
a
wanna-
review on that, but I'm asking, can I get an electronic copy? And now you've
have it.
said I have it, okay, I will
I
be
can
more than
certainly
happy
send
to
it to you 6
Now,
times.
if you
I
said
don't
you
care.
sent it, and if you
They're
didn't,
only
I'll
bits.
haunt you, you know that.
They're only bits out on the internet, I don't care. I
Okay,
can send them to you a million times.
okay, I also, I gotta be going. Okay, I sent you folks some of the comments, and the purpose of me going through that is to see what relates to us. What do we have to do, right? And identify the linkage points. And as you know, there's 2 sections, and one of them is just the financial piece, and the other one's the operational piece. And this was done by the town manager's request. We recommended that I conduct policy reviews every few years. My question would be, what is the schedule in relationship to reviewing these policies? And I'm assuming that we're a financial organization, so we should be having a schedule for reviewing our policies. But since we don't have a policies assembled just yet, right, our policies manual is still, like a lot of things, in development. We should establish a policy ourselves. Are we gonna go through this once a year? Are we gonna go through it twice a year? How often do we wanna be doing this? And how are we going to amend them? And how do we keep them in a state of control? I believe our website, I know our website has a section for policies, and we want to include in that policies, a kind of a listing of all the things. And when we make an amendment to it, what got amended? And so therefore, we're going to have to accommodate some sort of an index in our website, and it'll be the policies index, and that's what'll happen on that part. See notes on tax enforcement policy, the auditor selection, are we going to establish who is gonna audit
No,
our policy?
we don't have anything to do
No,
with
no,
it.
we have our own stuff. We're a financial organization, you are financial members,
But we do this every day in our work,
right?
This is
Okay,
what
so
we
we're
follow
gonna
the
have an
laws.
auditor come in and go through our stuff?
No,
The
Why wouldn't-
the town goes through an audit of every department,
Which includes us.
Yeah.
right. And,
We don't
but
have to
it's
do our
not a
own.
yearly
Okay.
thing, I think it's every couple of years.
Every couple of years, so we're auditing, are we doing a review of all sales and what the implications are? Do we have, we have a listing, our auditors, who's gonna come in and
Our
audit?
auditors don't look at
No,
sales.
we have vision doing
Sales is
that
a financial
currently.
thing.
Our interim,
But
right.
that's
Okay.
for us, for analyzation, to do our land values, our building values. That has nothing to do
No,
with.
this is an
the-
inspection to collect money.
But it has nothing to do with the auditors.
Okay.
The
what-
town has a town,
Sure.
every town, I don't think it's every year, I think it's every couple of years. They have a company come in that audits every department.
Right.
Okay, the audit applies to financial management offices, that's us too. And other town employees whose activities are subject to being audited. The auditor engagement, it says, whenever an auditor, independent auditor identifies a procedural weakness or deficiency, the independent auditor will describe it to management in a letter of criteria reviewing management letter to a finance director, and will work with the financial departments, excuse me, I had to dictate all this, and other town employees to comprise of a written response for a citation. What they're asking us to do is have a corrective action process, a CAPA, or have the town have a CAPA or a CAPA, right? And we should be having some sort of a corrective action response process that captures the problems that occurred, and we have to have, according to that, we have to go to root cause analysis, do a root cause analysis, and make suggestions. The suggestions have to be tracked, and then you have to come back and reapprove that, the fact, the activities, the corrective actions occurred.
So, what thing in here did you wanna change?
All I'm saying that it applies to us.
I got that, but the intent, the
Whoa.
question was,
Yeah,
is there something in here, we were asked to review it and find out if there was something in there that was wrong,
Yeah.
inaccurate, or needed to change. If you can point out to the things that you want to change in here,
Yes.
that's great. What is it? I don't know what it is.
Okay.
And I read through this that you sent over and I couldn't figure out what you were trying to tell me to
Okay.
do.
in this particular case, we can set up our own little department car system.
Nope, nope.
It is
Get-
cap,
get-
it's
get-
right
get-
here.
get-
It's
get-
here, it's here. The car, the CAPA, okay? We can set it up ourselves, or we can ask the town to set up one that we can use. And where the town is being asked to establish a car system, right? What are the plans? We wanna see the town, or is it us? Who's gonna do the work? That's all.
Who's gonna do which work?
The corrective action action planning. And
When a finding
Mhm.
comes from the auditors, we then respond to that finding.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be just the auditors. If
So
we find out
if we have something else, but you're getting off this subject. This subject is what we're supposed to review. You're trying to shoehorn your way into something else, something else that I think is important,
Mhm.
but is not necessary. Today, we need to feedback on this document. What do you want to feedback on this document? And if it's,
Okay, is the town, I will, if you want, I will come back and ask specific questions, what is the town's plans to initiate a car system? And is it
well,
going to?
that's not what they asked here.
This is what,
It's essentially, it's essentially that, but what they've asked for is feedback on this document.
right.
And if you can't relate it directly to
I
this
can tell you it
document-
sits on whatever page, a car process, on page 3. And these are the things that it says, that annual audits, all town employees or activities
Yep.
are subject to being
I
audited.
got that. What do you wanna
Okay,
fix?
financial management audits, and any town employees' activities are subject to being audited. We're gonna
That's
be
true,
audited,
too.
and we should be audited,
We are.
right?
Every
Okay,
couple of
As
years.
a department.
Correct.
okay, what's,
They go through our financial records, they go through the abatement books, they go through, what we've taken in for fees, all that kind of stuff. But that's all done
and so
down
these
by the
auditors
town.
never found any problems.
They've got findings every time they come, because that's their job.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I don't know what the last one was, cause I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Do you know what it was?
No, I have no
Okay,
idea.
then,
So where are the records?
I don't
that
know
would
when the
show?
next one is either.
Yeah.
We should have a list someplace of when the auditors are gonna come in and do this. I don't know when that is, but you can ask that
So
question.
one of the question is, where are these audits and where are the records? What happened?
The historical ones?
Yeah, the ones that they found. And what did we do to fix it?
that doesn't,
Oh, it does,
doesn't get to this
We
level.
typically require them to identify
You
the
immediately
citations root
expand
cause
it to-
and then determine what controls to be implemented to correct the causes and consult further with the independent auditor when necessary. The finance director will separately provide the town manager with a CAP report that explains the plans in more details, including responsibility of parties, anticipated timeframes for
So
implementing the
you don't
controls.
need to read it all back.
Oh, I
to
know,
us.
but I'm just saying,
Oh,
it applies to us
So
and we should do it anyway.
We needed to do a 15-minute thing on here. 10 minutes are gone. I don't know what you want to change here. You got 5 more minutes to talk about this,
You
and
can
I'm
ask-
moving on.
Could ask the finance director.
I'm,
think I
I'm
will-
moving on.
I will go to the finance director. There's a lot of other questions that this has generated, and,
But-
you know.
Are they questions about how you'd like to
Debt
run a
management,
company?
and I asked how are the 41A deferrals gonna
It-
happen?
It's,
And the overlay surplus, those are questions. So, okay,
those aren't on here. Those in here?
on page 13, I mean, my page 3, and how will this work with 401 deferrals?
Your page 3?
My page 3. Second
Oh,
item.
your page 3.
Yeah, my page 3.
Yeah.
When that's
Well, where does it
referencing
say
their
anything about
page
deferrals
13.
in here?
It doesn't.
Okay. Then, okay. You're
It sh-
suggesting it should?
Yeah,
Oh, take that as feedback to the,
okay.
Town manager.
Yeah.
the
And-
finance director.
Basically, from what I've understood, we keep, well, I'll tell you what the other towns do when we get to that section. And I would love to see what's happening in this actual finance meeting that you have once a month. While we
It's a
see,
working meeting between the folks that are right there working in the office.
do you have any, well, they spell
They don't
about,
do minutes.
they spell out agendas on what should be on the agenda in this report, in this thing. And I'm saying, don't we have the right to see it?
We talk about daily things with the tax collector, the finance director, the assessor, and the town manager.
Yeah,
We talk about issues, maybe munis issues, things we're working on,
right. So
and deadlines that we have coming up with the Department of Revenue.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I did a survey, and the number one issue that came up by a stretch was communications and knowing what anybody else was doing.
How was this
doing.
scientific survey done, by the way?
I did interviews, I asked 3 specific questions, and then I.
How did you pick your,
I let them tell me.
how did you pick who you surveyed?
The communities.
No, I didn't, oh, some of them were in the community. I can tell you that most of the people inside of here, these buildings, I asked probably a dozen, and trying to get a sense of what they believed, and communications, but inside, communication was the same level of intensity as the outside people and the inside people. And please do not ask me specifically who the individuals were,
I don't care about
because,
that.
I know, because I promised
I
them I
just
wouldn't.
want to know how you picked your,
Yeah, no, I didn't try, and I started, even, I went, selectmen,
We're-
Heather, different department heads, and that's what it told me. All I know is that we don't hear anything with regard to what's coming out of the financial meetings, of which we're a member and participating, and we're not seeing a lot of information. And it was a consistent, it was a consistent message, that's all I can tell you. So anyway, they're telling us inside that records, we're supposed to be, the financial management team, the town establishes a financial management team consistent with departments, okay. Town manager will schedule meetings of the financial team at consistent times of the month. And it will have agenda items, proposed internal audits,
So-
reviews of effectiveness of internal
Time out,
controls.
time out.
Well,
you don't have to read this document to us.
no, I won't. I'm just hitting
trying to
the
figure
high
out what
points.
you want changed, or what action you want to take.
Okay, the action is, I would just love to see a minutes coming out of that 1 month internal manner that says, what did you hit and what came out of it? Otherwise, nobody in that internal organization, except for the minutes they individually take, do you take a lot of minutes in that meeting?
We don't take any minutes. I give you this monthly report.
Yeah.
Which just tells you everything that we're working on.
Right.
And we meet as a team, the finance director, myself, the tax
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
collector, and the town manager.
Right.
we were meeting every week when Heather was here, we were going through things, we were discussing things.
Just timelines.
Timelines.
And what's coming
Timelines,
up. and-
okay.
Things that we all, because as a group, we all have deadlines of
Right,
things we
okay.
have to meet.
Let me give you one example of the reason why I want to know these things, is because as we were processing the abatements, right, I asked our prior lead assessor, what does the number look right now? And he goes, I really can't tell you. And I just thought he meant that he didn't know. We finished up about 6 o'clock, we had the selectmen's meetings at 7. He then went over, it was called over to Heather's office. The town manager, excuse me, I didn't use a name, the town manager. About 7:20, about 20 minutes into it, he relayed all the numbers that we as a board had asked him for to Heather, right? And then Heather delivered those numbers. And we're saying, wait a second, shouldn't we have access to that to know what's happening, right? We were kept in the dark.
We can't fix the problems you
I
had.
know we can't,
We
but.
can't fix the problems you had then. All we
Right.
can talk about are the things we can do now.
Right, but I'm trying to put preventative measures, give us data, or not you, but I'm saying the town manager, tell us what happened in this meeting, what are the outcomes, who has what responsibility to deliver what, right?
Every town manager that has finance teams, they all run them different ways.
Right, we're asking for a change.
That was happening with Heather, and we were meeting every week, so, I mean, I don't know what
Yeah,
we have a lot of stuff we're accomplishing, we've cleaned up a lot. I don't know what you're asking, but we're
Well,
doing our
clear-
job.
yeah.
And
No,
we're-
I'm not, you're
and
doing
we're-
a great job,
and
I'm
we're
just saying,
meeting
these are the changes.
To go over everything as a group of the deadlines that we need to accomplish.
Yeah.
To meet, we've
That's
got.
important. That's
We've
really
got our
important.
interim, we've got to get in, we've got growth.
Yeah.
From now until November, we're gonna be very busy. All
Yeah.
3 departments accomplishing our goals, because we have to submit things to the Department of Revenue.
I know.
So, that's what we're doing.
And so if you need help, right, hopefully you're telling us, but at the same time, you must be expressing something to the future town manager, whatever town manager, in terms of what your difficulties are. You're sharing some of that, but that should be, you're also dependent on a lot of other departments and how they're playing. I'm still real sensitive to what happened a year and a half ago. And so why wouldn't we wanna just clearly communicate, get that communications out, expand that out, so people can understand what is really happening. And that's primarily why I'm spending time is, I wanna make sure we're covered, and I wanna make sure that we as a board know what's going on.
You do know what's going on, I just went through
Oh,
everything that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
working
you're,
on.
trust
Yeah.
me, trust me.
We have to, like I said, like he said, we have to move forward.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff we're trying to get done.
Yeah,
And
and,
we're, I've outlined everything that we're working on growth, which is really important.
yes,
We meet regularly. We have an interim town manager that has been coming down every week. And
What's the new growth number?
he's telling
More
me
than
what
every
he
week.
needs.
Yeah.
He's telling me what he needs. He's asking me about the budget. So he's doing his job. Izzy is working on his year end. He's finalizing everything. So we're doing everything that we're supposed to do.
oh, Linda, you guys
Yeah.
get 8+. You really do. And all I'm saying is, this document needs to clarify more of this, and that's my comment. It's not directed at you at all. It's directed at, what do we have to do as a town? Yeah, I got a letter, another true example. It was the day before I got elected, right? And we were struggling to get the folders even straightened out. Remember how many folders we had? We had like 440 folders or something like that. And they were all in different orders and different numbers. And I offered to went down, and CJ said, yeah, come on, we'll use the help. So I was down there maybe half an hour helping him just put the piles together, to manage those piles. And it was noted that I was there, and then through CJ, I was informed I had to leave. Okay, I get it. I'm playing with documents that could be sensitive. I'm not opening them or anything like that. And in a day or so, I will, whatever. But okay, I was out there. Later on, I couldn't go in that office, and within 5 minutes, Heather was down there. How did that happen?
So,
That's
that's a really old
old stuff, but at the same
No,
time,
No, if we have no further stuff to do
No
on
further
this
stuff.
On this financial document, we're gonna move on.
right, right, so please don't feel defensive, I'm just
No,
coming
no.
after that information.
I'm just telling you, if you compare 440 to 42 abatements,
It's a
it's,
different,
it's
it's a different
a,
world.
Rena
Yeah.
and I have done a lot to get the department caught up, and we
And you
continue to do
have,
that.
and you've done a great job with what you've got. There's never any question about that. Never, never. Okay?
Even with the staffing challenges, which we still have, we,
I know.
Even after we have the data.
You'll
collected,
still be
Yes.
digging out for a
we're
while.
understaffed.
yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure we recognize all the things we're supposed to be doing.
Thank you.
That's all.
This is what the board does, board meetings. This is what the board,
This is what we're supposed to be doing.
board meetings, right.
Yeah.
Not in the day-to-day operations of the office. That's our department.
Yeah, well, the flow is based on the policies that we generate, right? And if we generate a policy, we're looking for flows that are consistent with that, right? And.
We're doing all the policies that are given to us
Yeah,
by the guidelines from the DOR.
'Cause
right, and these are where it's coming from. I'm not.
We have to follow those. If we don't follow those, Becky Boucher is calling us.
Oh, my buddy Becky,
So we-
bless her heart. Yes, and, yeah, so anyway, you're doing great. Yeah.
Just
Okay,
details
excellent.
and development of assessing calendar, we have a pretty good idea what things are coming up. We probably ought to write them down at some point.
I actually have a calendar right in there.
Thought you might.
I do.
So we
You can
probably,
go right on the DOR website and print out the whole calendar for the year.
so, but there are steps in between that we need to do to get there, like, nowhere on the calendar, the DOR's calendar, does it say create a budget. You've gotta create a
No.
budget. Right?
We're actually doing that a little premature.
We are doing it way earlier
We
than
are,
normal,
right,
and
yeah.
Most
not
towns,
unhappy with that, it's just that it now
most
puts
towns
it,
start that in November.
it puts an additional burden on our limited resource. So, I'm not unhappy with it, I'm not thrilled that it is happening either, cause now's not the time, but let's do it.
Well, it's just to, I mean, to reassure that we're where we need to be, and I called the companies and got estimates. That was something that
Right,
I think was done in the spring prior to when I was here anyways, or last year, so.
right.
But I'm watching the numbers on that and making sure that,
So,
We're
did you
within.
follow that, Jack? We're starting the budget process, so
Right.
she's actually making calls to
Right,
find out how
right.
much stuff it's gonna
Yeah.
cost now, as opposed to waiting until,
Bless your heart.
and that
Much
was
later.
done last year for 25.
Mhm.
So I'm just looking at the accounts that we have and just monitoring it, and Carter has asked that, you know,
Okay.
where we're at and where we're gonna be. So I've kind of called a couple of the vendors and I'm verifying the amounts
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure, because that was done prior to when I was here.
so in addition to that day-to-day stuff, you're doing some budgeting stuff, but you're also trying to figure out, what, with the overlay analysis, we need to do the overlay analysis, we've got
Right.
that abatement that we need to revisit,
Yeah.
that we talked about.
Mhm.
There's plenty to do with
We
a
have
day-to-day
growth,
basis.
we
She's
have
also
permits.
got a bunch
Yeah.
of permits to review, so. I just wanna, we should make sure that, you know, something that's on the calendar that has a dependency, we don't forget about the dependencies.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's something that you wanted to do for a while, and I think we need to do it sooner. The calendar
Yeah.
of events, so. Update on the status of the investigation regarding the exemptions, including 17C, 22, 37, 41C, and potentially D. I know you've been
And
putting a lot
41A.
of, I know you've been putting a lot of effort into 41A, we're not gonna get anything done for 41A by November.
If Mr. Chairman, I would like to
We-
make a proposal.
Not going to.
No, I would like to make a
If we pay
proposal.
no attention to the 41D and C right now, that needs to be addressed right now.
Those really have to go to town meeting in the fall
Right,
because of,
right,
because we're not in compliance,
we are, right.
right.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, if I may have a minute or two?
Please,
Okay.
since you were taking the lead on this.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, with regard to the 41A piece, okay? I know, hold on, it's more critical than you think. So, I did have a chance to do some more investigative work, and I have contacted other towns, and I would like to propose that we go to the town and ask them to make a change to the state mandated regulation with regard to an 8% interest rate change. The town of Woburn charges 4%. The town of Plymouth charges 6%. And basically, the Plymouth is kind of on target for what they would charge somebody with regard to taking out a mortgage, right? And remember, our plan is your deferral. Essentially, you pay a rate that the state initially established. Lunenburg has done nothing in that regard. Other towns have made changes to the rates that which they're charging. I am asking, I would like to go to the town and say, can we change that rate down to 6%, and with the data that's supported. Additionally, at the town meeting, I would ask that, I would like to provide them and put it out there that says, here's the deferral application, right? We have not made people aware that, you know what, you don't have to lose your house. You really don't have to. You can come back and talk to us, and we will provide you with all sorts of information in terms of how the process works, and here's the application. I already have one person that wants to start and try, right, in terms of the pilot mode. All I'm asking is that the board approve us going to town and asking for that change with regard to going to 6%.
Do you know when that has to be provided to the town manager?
Yes, I do.
Right.
And that was based on what Annie had sent out, and all interested party. The warrant will be open for submission articles for the November 12th fall town meeting, and will close Monday, September 16th, right? So it gives us less than a month to go ahead
Yep.
and draft it. And it's not a big draft, it's just to ask the town to amend or adopt the state, adopt a 6% versus what the state has now put in place. It's not a function of the town approving it or disapproving it, the whole thing. It's approving the change in the rate.
That's it.
And that's all I'm seeking for, and I want to put materials out there that create a higher level of awareness. And even if I can only send, now, some towns, in the case of Woburn, they only have 2 or 3 active people pursuing it. In the town of Plymouth, they have 10. And they all agree that none of them, the public generally is unaware of the availability of that option, at the same time unaware of the changes with regard to the circuit breaker laws and the numbers that you can now qualify for. I would like to take that opportunity to say it's here and go with that. The second part I would like to ask is that we have a monitoring. When someone gets 2 quarters behind and hasn't paid, I know that you go to 4 quarters according to the laws, and you're now going into the town is now opening up the possibility that they're going to take the house away for your taxes. It usually takes about 3 years, but let's get ahead of this and at the end of a couple months, if someone's late, let's know and let's reach out to them and say, can we help you? Can we help you not lose your house?
Not after a couple of months, but
A couple quarters, couple quarters. And so that's what I would like to propose, and I'm seeking your permission to go ahead as our board and try and see if we can't help these people a little bit further and get them the better break and show them a way. And
what's
so
the date? 16th?
we have to have it in by the 16th.
Our next meeting,
Yeah,
tentatively, is the 16th.
yeah. So,
If you want to draft something up I'm sure that if we went to the town manager and said, okay, it's gonna be the 17th.
I will have that. If you
will draft something up
I
on
will.
the 2 points that you just made.
Yeah.
About 41A, we'll review it at the next meeting,
Okay.
amend it, approve it, and get it out to the town
Right,
manager.
like we did the last one.
By Tuesday. No problem.
Okay.
I'm sure we can get that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can get that.
So
So, that's not where it ends. We need to have 41A, C and D. We need to know what our position is on that. You were taking the lead on that. You're gonna have time to do that as well?
I can do it. Yeah, but
We
what
need
was
to
it?
adopt 41D in order to adopt the COLA.
Okay.
We also need to know what Linda is already going to try to find out how much The reimbursement is for 41D.
I thought that was on the reimbursement.
Can't find, we don't have any, so we don't have anything to refer
Oh,
to.
I wrote to Jeanette
It's
at the
new.
data bank.
For
41.
for us, it's new.
For us.
Actually,
It's
it's new
new. Okay.
across the board.
It's new,
Because
yeah.
if you look at some of the prior, were the IGRs, like 2016, it's
Yeah.
not mentioned because it
Right.
didn't exist.
Right.
So we need to go back to figure out what exactly
Okay.
we need to do to adopt 41D.
right,
So you're gonna take.
The town's
we
gonna
need
have
on
to-
41A,
I'll wait for
writing
word
up
for
something
them.
for 41A,
Okay.
but I also need you to put something together so that we put together a proposal for 41, adopting 41D.
And
And we need to know what the
17F.
implications are around the financial, go ahead.
And 17F as well.
So I'm just doing them one at a time.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
I'm just doing them one at a time because otherwise we get all balled up.
I thought
Yeah.
17F had become basically obsolete.
17F
that's
is the new one.
Yeah,
It's a new
We
one.
need to check out
Oh.
what the implications of 17F, that's also COLA, right? Is it COLA?
I believe that's
Yeah.
COLA, right?
I
For-
think that
for
follows the
income
COLA
and
as
stuff.
well.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
I don't know if there's anything that need be done around 22 and 37.
20, don't have to do anything with 22, and 37 is your blind, that one, all they have to do is bring in a certificate of their blind.
What, as far as any limits, have the limits changed on the state level? 'Cause-
Well, we're not going by the state recommendations already.
Okay,
And we've not adopted anything at town meeting.
perfect.
so we need to
As
just
well.
come up with a new number.
Well, we need to fi-
No,
figure out
not
if
a
we
new
need to do
number.
anything, but I would
We
say
need
right
to-
now, the focus should be 41
D,
CD,
yeah,
17 CF, and 41A.
Okay,
So if you
yeah, I didn't, that wasn't, I will get that,
keep, and
If
we
it's gonna
really
help
need to
somebody,
do
I
that
will.
by
yeah,
the next meeting, which is
Right.
tentatively set up for the 16th, we'll
Right.
confirm that later.
yeah,
If you can do that by the 16th, then we can get it all back to the town manager by the 17th. I'm sure the town manager will be happy
I'm
to
sure they will,
accommodate us.
okay.
Thank you. And again, this is not one of those, it can't hang on any longer. It's either the 16th or we don't do it.
Don't till the spring,
Right.
yeah.
yeah.
We'd like to get on the fall.
But really,
Right.
one of the reasons to get it on the fall is we're sending out these exemption notices. We don't know what their exemption is.
Right.
Yeah,
We don't know what their qualifications
What
are gonna be,
qualifications do you have? We don't know any of that stuff.
because we're not following any of
And
the
this is the
state
whole D section,
guidelines.
D section of 41
right,
was adopting COLA.
that's it.
Essentially adopts COLA. Yep.
Okay, I thought 17F was COLA too, but,
I don't remember which one. I think
limitations,
it's, but it also changes the limits of income and the limits of
okay.
assets and all that other stuff.
Right.
I'll build a matrix, send it over to you folks,
Fabulous,
okay.
fabulous. I knew we could depend on you. I knew it was a hot button for you.
It is, it's my
but
biggest hot
You were doing
button.
all your efforts on 41A and the 41,
Yeah, I was under the
D
impression
and the
that the other
17F
two
were
were
like
not
not doing
all that
anything.
viable, okay.
those are very
Your
important. 'cause we have-
41D is probably
41.
your
Most
most
important.
important.
Yeah,
41C, we currently have like 20.
uh,
19.
I can tell you.
Yeah, we
We've
have,
got 19, 23, and 19 over the last
Right.
3 years, so it's about 20.
so D obsoleted C then, huh?
D,
D is replacing C.
Right,
Yeah.
but if you've only adopted C, you can still, it doesn't take away C until you've adopted D.
okay.
Right.
And so
And
what
since
you,
we don't follow any of the guidelines and nothing has been approved for
We had
41C,
19.
we
Last
have to
year.
have something
Last
approved.
year.
We
yeah,
had 23 the
formally.
year before.
Yeah,
so we wanna get C and D formally approved.
No, we don't
Nope.
want
We don't
C.
need C.
C's
We don't
already
need-
been
we want
accepted.
Right.
D.
We believe that we are not applying the rules properly,
Okay,
but if we adopt D, then we can just adopt D and apply the rules for D and then be
use the
happy
same,
with it.
okay. So what did you, when you sent that stuff out to folks with regard to the exemption reminders?
It's a request for information from them, not a
Right.
commitment to give them any money yet.
Yeah,
No, they have to
Don't
give
we
us
have it?
So-
their financial
17.
information.
Ds.
okay,
41
Their
C is the
40
priority.
Their tax
there is 17
returns,
Cs.
their bank statements,
mhm,
41C, there's a
Right.
lot they have to
Right.
return
Last
to
year.
make sure they qualify.
That's what was submitted.
okay, and now does
on the
the
MDM one.
41,
Wow.
I mean the
That's good.
41 D.
There'll be all the same requirements.
Does it hit the
If
circuit breaker?
if I'm prioritizing, I just changed my idea.
Yeah?
She just pointed out,
Isn't there
Linda just
something in
pointed
the
out that we
MDM one?
had no one using 17 last year of any kind.
Right.
But
That's
there
what I
were a
thought.
couple of people that we could
Could
have
have.
flipped over.
Right.
Okay.
So we had none, so my priority for me
Mhm.
is 41D. You want to do the 41A. I think
41A
we should
is
push for
bigger,
that.
my bigger part.
My only concern about pushing for that is I'm not sure how big of a target audience we have. I don't think it's very big. But having said that,
Mm-hmm.
17, there might be a larger audience even
Okay.
than there is for 41A.
Okay.
Right.
So my priority, personal priority for me would be 41D, 17F,
F.
F.
and then 41A. And then the other ones, 37 and 22?
There's 4 people
Not much.
on 37.
Right.
And we have all their certificates
Right,
for
right.
blindness, so.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a big, and the veterans, you know,
vet-
they know their guidelines.
They do.
Yeah.
You know,
They do. So thank you. If you want to take the lead on, it's
Yeah.
really those 3 items, and that's my personal priority list. But
Okay.
you can
Do,
prioritize. however
does
you-
17 affect circuit breaker play with that at all?
no,
They haven't changed any of the requirements in that?
Nope.
Because that's, my bet is the thing that's gonna go and cause the whole cause the 41A to climb pretty rapidly. All they have to do is be aware of it. And all I'm trying to do is keep them from losing the house, so.
Well,
Good. Perfect.
circuit breaker doesn't have anything to do with the 41Cs and the 17.
no.
That's actually done when they're having their taxes done.
Yeah, when that.
Yeah, the circuit breaker does a personal, but it does affect I know it does affect the A for sure.
They
And
use
then-
the data from
And
it.
they use the data and that, I'm gonna check that. I thought the circuit breaker hit another one, but I don't know.
Okay. We have an opportunity to discuss policies. I don't want to. If you have something that's kind of pressing,
No.
for policies, we can talk about policies. Yeah.
Do you have
I
any
really
old
want
business?
Sarah to be here. What?
Do you have anything under old business?
I didn't write anything, did I?
No.
Should I?
Well, I just, we put this off.
What is that?
This is, removal from 61B. And it's a piece of property
Oh,
on, the attorney is still waiting.
were you not heard? Oh, we were waiting for somebody else to feedback,
This
the
is-
Conservation Commission.
No, it was some open space committee,
Okay,
if they were interested in this property.
did we get something back from them, that they're not, but they are?
Well, I heard at the selectmen's meeting, it didn't matter, cause they don't have any funds to buy anything. So, you know, we're holding this up. This is rollback tax.
This is the one that Sarah had some concern about, making sure the Open Space Committee had
Right,
fed
right,
back
right.
to us.
And conservation had no
We've heard-
interest,
I
even
think
though
it
it
was
was an abutting land. I didn't understand that.
This
It's-
is, Leominster Road and I think it's Kilbridge Street.
Oh, yep. The,
And this came in to the town on May 15th.
so should we take an action on that one, in spite of, that's what you're
Really
asking?
Should. Cause it's really not fair to the landowner.
If Open Space were interested in it, they would have told us.
Yeah.
So let me make the rather broad assumption that they don't care.
I
If that's the case, and we don't have any money, I
Right.
think we oughta, I would entertain a motion to approve that.
I'm just surprised at the Conservation Commission, because I believe it does abut a piece of conservation land, doesn't it?
Well, they probably don't have the money either. They have to meet the purchase price.
Yeah,
Can I just see the map?
I think it does. Okay, now I'm ready for brownie.
Now you ready for a
Now
round?
I'm ready for brownie. Ooh,
So it's this piece, the big piece right here?
I think there's 2 lots they're cutting out of it. They both have road frontage. I think one is on
Leominster Road?
Leominster Road and one
And
is on
Kilburn.
Kilburn,
And they have, so they're gonna make homes on those 2 properties?
probably.
And they'll be on the tax rolls, right?
Absolutely.
And there'll be new growth, right?
Yeah, B, that's
Well,
right.
And they'll be
everybody over
ro-
here is excited, I'm not sure about us.
And there'll be rollback taxes.
Which I
And
wanna
rollback
do in
taxes.
And
Greenup.
rollback taxes.
I would entertain a motion to allow that to, what would,
Withdrawal from chapter 61B.
allow withdrawal from 61B, okay, yeah.
In light of the inaction by the rest of the town, in terms of declining or not taking position, I kind of agree with you.
Okay,
I agree.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the motion was made by Mr. Rabbit, seconded by me, or vice versa, which do you care?
I don't care. Brownie is good.
You like 'em?
I do.
Thank you. Good call, Rena. It had fallen off my
Yeah.
radar.
Well,
Anything else that fell off my radar?
I think I told you, we did have an application for a real estate abatement. And I did send a letter to the property owner explaining to them that he's past the deadline.
What date did we receive it?
We received it on August 14th
You know, they
for
were due
real
on
estate abatement.
May
So I
16th?
Yeah.
wrote a letter stating, you know, that they've missed the deadline
We can't even
Can,
review it.
and they can
They can't go to
file it
UTV?
again for
Right.
fiscal
Next year.
'25.
right. I wonder if they get confused because they thought it's a quarter to quarter kind of thing. And they just
We've been
discovered
trying to
it.
be as clear as possible
Yeah.
on all the communications that we made, especially the letter that we
How
sent
did
back.
you miss, how did they miss all the volume of noise that was going on last quarter?
I-
Don't know.
Several people didn't make the May 16th
Oh.
date, and part of it was because it was a May 16th date.
Mhm.
But to miss it by 3 months is saying you're not paying any attention at all. I feel badly for them, and I don't know if we would have approved something or not,
Mhm.
but we can't even review it.
Probably
Yeah.
not, because the information, there's really nothing but just stating what their values were in 22, 23, and 24. No explanation or anything like that.
So scant information,
Right,
3
have
months
they
late.
paid the anticipated total for the taxes for that year? Have
We
they
can't
paid it
look
yet?
at any abatement request that hasn't been paid.
Right,
Yeah,
Did they?
I don't know.
We didn't even look,
Last,
because we can't look at it.
the numbers they stated were the first 2 quarters of '25, so
yeah.
it's irrelevant.
Why can't we look at it if we're trying to, oh, we can't look at it because it's past due.
Past-
Not past due,
they've
but we
missed the
can't
filing
see if
date.
they're. Do you have any sense for how many people are late or actually going into foreclosure or anything like that in terms of?
The tax collector, she has that information.
She gets, that's not part of the weekly or monthly report?
No, because they
No.
have to wait quite a long time.
Yeah,
It really takes a long process. It's really a matter of years.
But they would,
3
no,
years.
3 years to shoot them, to get them out of the house. But in terms of them getting into trouble,
You don't have to shoot them, get them out of the house.
and you're shooting a bird for,
Trying to be clear
yeah.
for anybody who's watching us on TV.
So they're,
We were not
and I know
proposing
that
shooting.
state of Massachusetts took away the fact that some towns were actually
Yeah,
taking the full,
Yeah.
they just seizing the house and holding on to everything versus whatever the banks didn't take, they were holding on to the rest
the
of it.
one that
Robin Hood.
was a problem, was a huge problem, was they had, the individual had 2 pieces of property, both of which were in arrears. If they'd sold off the little empty piece of property, they would have been able to pay out the
Right,
taxes,
right.
but they seized both the little unoccupied piece of property and the
Yep,
property with the
yep.
house on it, and said, we're gonna keep all your money.
Yes, yeah, so the good news, they passed a law against that.
Well, I don't know if it was a
Didn't they?
law, it was a guideline of some kind.
Uh,
And you
Yeah.
know what, towns don't wanna be realtors. They
Right.
don't want property.
Right,
They don't wanna take property.
right,
Yeah,
They don't wanna get into that.
right.
so the question then becomes, Okay, we must be monitoring who's late on paying their quarterlies or whatever.
I'm sure the tax
I'm sure
collector
the
has
The
a
tax
report.
collector is doing
And
that.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering if we can get some sort of data that suggests that after they've been late a couple of quarters, can you just give us the address so we can send them a little note saying perhaps we can help come in and talk to us?
You can check with Mylene, that's kind of her area,
Yeah,
that's not
that's-
something we get
yes.
involved in.
Okay.
It's not an
We don't handle
unreasonable
them.
request if you're trying to keep people in their homes, and I
Yeah.
think that's not a bad thing, but it's just.
But a couple of
We can't
quarters.
save everybody from themselves.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And if they were behind for, maybe a year, I would say, yeah, get in touch with them. But a couple of quarters, they have the ability
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
try to make up a couple of quarters, so.
and when they come in and talk with us, we direct them down to Mylene, and
Right.
she works with them. on
Okay.
She has
that area.
payment
I know the
plans
payment,
with people.
Yeah.
As long as you're not late on your payment plans, they can keep you working
Right.
with it. But the payment plan usually is only about a quarter of what really is due,
Right.
so.
We had tentatively set up for September 16th, which I believe you're out of town,
Probably, yes.
and September 30th, and you're gonna get something to us before the 16th, so when are you out of town?
We check. I can Zoom or something. Papa Camp is ending in 3 days, thank goodness. Any chance we could try and do the 2nd? Oh, wait a second, somebody's getting married in that. When do they get married again?
That's Labor Day, I think, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Labor
that's
Day.
Do you
Labor
mean
Day.
September 2nd, or do you mean the second week?
September 2nd, never mind. I
September
didn't-
2nd, I'll be in Germany.
Okay,
Oh,
and
lucky
after
you.
that,
Yeah, full.
Rhine
I'm up in
River
Arcadia, I don't know if I
Cruise.
can get her.
Ooh, how long?
I'm not telling anybody.
He's wanted on camera.
What, you don't want your house
I'm
taken
not
down?
telling anybody.
I'm jealous.
Nobody's business. Tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah, can we somehow sneak in that week of if Labor Day is Monday the 2nd, can we sneak in something that week? Only 'cause I'm in Arcadia, and I'm pretty sure where I am is right on the seashore, and there's nothing by, and we're in a camper, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get reception. And then after that, we're up in
So you're
camp.
gonna be able to get us something before you go on vacation out
Oh,
of
yeah.
those 3 different items?
I'm gonna try.
Okay, great.
And it's easier just
And I'm
to,
hoping we can actually get a quorum.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if you don't think you can dial in on the 16th,
I don't, I'll.
we could try to do something the week of the 9th, but you're still gone then. Correct?
That's correct, I'm on the seashore, and after that, I'm traveling in Canada. So, I don't know when I'm gonna be, I don't know yet.
I will
Excuse me, I did say
set up the meeting for the 16th,
that. Okay,
hoping that you can attend remotely, and if you can't, hoping that we have a quorum
Yeah.
otherwise. And I will set up tentatively the meeting for the 30th. You
Okay.
okay the 30th, right?
yeah. Yep.
Okay. Now that the town manager search committee is looking for days to meet, we may have more trouble
You getting a Zoom?
getting a room,
Getting a room.
unlike the Zoom that we couldn't get today.
Well, we only got
Yeah.
3 going, right? We gotta make sure we work on that.
No,
Oh,
she never came back.
I
Well,
need-
maybe
we
because
need
were
to get
late.
things home or
Yeah.
if she's gonna be the one setting up the meetings, Zoom for us. Any public comment? Any public comment from the board? Anything either of you would like to say about, I'm gonna invite you this one time.
mhm.
No,
Yeah.
we've said everything.
And just to clarify, before the minutes get out, there are no corrections to anything on the website, no spelling corrections, no nothing.
No, nothing. You can,
I suspect if I point things out to Kara, she might make the changes on the spelling.
If it's a spelling error, I guarantee she'll look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, Brownie, you wrote?
Okay, I will adjourn us at 8:53.
There you go.
Thank you very much,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you for the brownie.
You're
Not
welcome.
always easy.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.